Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, this video really is a quick preview for Jaron Ennis versus Sergey Lipinets. This fight goes down on the 10th of April, takes place in Connecticut, USA. And in the USA, this fight is going to be televised by Showtime. In the UK, I'm not entirely sure who's televising this fight. But yeah, I'll basically run through this fight and actually the undercard as well. But yeah, all, in my opinion, this is a good main event. Jaron Ennis is viewed as one of the more highly touted welterweight prospects in the world. He's big and strong for the weight. He's like 5'10", 5'11". He's got a long reach. He's got respectable hand speed, respectable punching power. He's a strong guy for the weight. And, you know, physically, he's definitely an impressive fighter. And I can see why people are definitely excited by Jaron Ennis, you know. He can fight on the inside actually quite well. Nice combinations, like I say, nice hand speed. You know, he definitely has certain things that will excite a fight fan. But he's in there with a big test. Sergey Lipinets, former champion at 140 pounds, fought guys like Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia. He's a tough come-forward guy who's got a good work rate, decent power. He's durable, he's tough, he's strong. You know, this fight is definitely the hardest fight on paper of Jaron Ennis' career. Now, going into this fight, I do favour Jaron Ennis to win. Ultimately, I think he's going to be a bit too big, a bit too strong, a bit too fresh, and a bit too quick for Sergey Lipinets, but I don't think he's going to have this fight all his own way, I'll be honest. While I rate Jaron Ennis as an athlete, I'm still not entirely convinced by his boxing ability or his in-ring IQ. What I can see from Jaron Ennis, he seems like a natural fighter. What I mean by that is he's willing to give away his natural advantages to get in a tear-up. Go back and watch Jaron Ennis and Bakhtiar Ayubov. And Ennis won that fight by stoppage, but in the early rounds, Ennis was inviting so much pressure on himself against a shorter, more compact guy. He was allowing Ayubov to come on the inside and let go of his hands, and Ayubov was actually landing some good shots on Jaron Ennis. At the end of the day, Ennis was too big, too strong, and he knocked out Ayubov, but still, defensively in that fight, I felt Ennis looked pretty vulnerable, if I'm being honest. And I didn't like the way he was giving away his height and reach advantage in that fight. So bear that in mind when we talk about this fight. Lipinets is a similar style fighter to Ayubov. He brings pressure. He's a shorter, more compact guy, but he's much better at it than Ayubov. So I can fully see Lipinets early on in this fight giving Ennis some real problems up close. I can see these guys trading, both having success, and I could see Lipinets making this a bit of a dogfight early on. At the end of the day, I do think Lipinets' size, his strength, his speed, and his punching power will be a little too much. But for whatever reason, I really think Ennis in this fight is going to look human, and I think people will actually be aware of his flaws after this fight. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ennis actually decides to box in this fight. That's what he should do. Make the use of those legs, make the use of that long reach, try and keep Lipinets on the outside. That's what I want to see from Ennis, but Ennis looks like one of those guys who enjoys fighting, and while as a fan, I find that exciting, at the highest level, there are certain guys who can expose that, so we'll see how that pans out in this fight. Ultimately, I am picking Ennis to win this fight. I think he'll come through it, but I think it's going to be a hard fight. Does he knock out Lipinets? If he does, in my opinion, it would be late on. But there's a high chance this fight goes to points, in my opinion. But yeah, all in all, definitely a good test for Jaron Ennis. Certainly the hardest test of Ennis' career to date. There's no doubt about it when you look at his resume. So yeah, a good test for Jaron Ennis, and I'm looking forward to it. Also on the undercard, you have Eimantas Stanionis, a Lithuanian welterweight. He's fighting Thomas Delorme. Stanionis, a prospect just like Jaron Ennis. And once again, this is another big step up. Thomas Delorme, actually a good technical boxer. He's got good legs, he's got nice hand speed, good long range punching, he can move. You know, Delorme's a talented fighter, not really durable. You know, his gas tank is questionable, but Delorme's always been the guy with talent, and he's got experience, you know. Delorme's fought guys like Yordenis Ugas, for example. You know, Jesse Vargas. He's fought some good guys, so definitely more battle tested than Stanionis. And again, much like Jaron Ennis, Stanionis is in there with the biggest test of his career to date. I think Stanionis' pressure and his power will be too much for Delorme, who's not got the best chin. But once again, I think this is definitely a test for Stanionis, and I think he'll definitely have some moments in this fight where, you know, he may be second best. So once again, another good welterweight fight on this card. I really like these step-up fights for both Jaron Ennis and Stanionis. And lastly, we have Jerwin Ancajas versus Jonathan Javier Rodriguez. Jerwin Ancajas, fun fighter from the Philippines, IBF super flyweight champion, but you know, he's really been holding that belt hostage for the most part. He's not really been interested in unifying. He's not really been fighting high-level guys. But I actually believe Rodriguez is one of Ancajas's most dangerous opponents to date. Well, for a long time at least anyway. So I'm looking forward to this fight. Rodriguez can punch. Ancajas naturally a very aggressive guy. So put these two guys together. I believe this fight's going to be entertaining. Maybe I'll favour Ancajas, but I think there's a chance here Ancajas could get upset, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be a fun fight. And yeah, hopefully, providing Ancajas wins this fight, hopefully after that this guy actually shows ambition to try and unify at super flyweight. And yeah, these three fights right here, Stanionis, Delorme, Ancajas versus Rodriguez, and Lipinets Ennis, these are the fights that will be televised. There's a couple more fights on the undercard. Mark Magsayo, who's a prospect at featherweight, Magsayo. I've seen a bit of Magsayo. I'm not really impressed, if I'm being honest. So you got him on the undercard, and you've also got the son of Evander Holyfield, Holyfield, on the undercard. So there you go. But all in all, a pretty good Showtime by a pretty good card on Showtime by the PBC. And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to this one. But anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy.